Hello, it's X here, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today we're going to be looking at a bunch more trap cards and discussing why they are limited. Here we go. Bottomless Trap Hole. In case you don't know what this does, when your opponent summons a monster with 1500 or more attack, destroy that monster with 1500 or more attack, and if you do, banish it. So pretty obvious why this one is limited to one. If you had 3 of these in your deck, you'll be able to set just keep destroying and banishing your opponent's monsters while attacking them essentially directly, and you will Shrek them very, very quickly. Compulsory Evacuation Device. Target one monster on the field, return that target to the hand. Again, pretty obvious. You can just keep setting these and sending your opponent's cards back to their hand, especially if they did a bunch of special summons or XZs summoning or synchro summoning or whatever. You could then use this to send that monster straight back where it came from, pissing them off as well as completely messing them up and potentially winning you the game. So, insane combos with this card. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Now this card is insane, and if you used correctly. Tribute one dark monster with 2500 or more attack, declare one card type with a spell or trap. Trick your opponent's hand, all spell and trap cards they control and all cards they draw until the end of the 3rd turn after this card activation. Destroy all cards of this type. Ridiculously powerful card, especially if you're using a deck, going against a deck which is high on traps or spells, or they need lots of traps or spells to be able to pull off combos. Insanely powerful card that could Shrek a lot of decks. Infinity Barrier. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card or monster effect while you control a face-up attack position Infinity monster and have no cards in your hand, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. So it's essentially like a sort of like a mirror force for attacks. Effects. So monster effect targets one of the Infinity monsters, they can destroy it. But again, because you have to have no cards in your hand, it is a bit on the not so good side. So this could potentially be semi-limited in my personal opinion. But again, say really powerful is it just protects any Infinity monsters which are on the field from anything. Macrocosmos. When this card is resolved, you can special summon one Helios the Primordial Sun from your hand or deck. While this card is face up on the field, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So essentially the reason why you can have one of these, you could just set this on the field, activate your opponent's turn and then kill it as well on your opponent's turn, and you get a 3+1 straight to the field. Or alternatively you could leave it on the field and everything which you destroy with your opponent is gone from the game. Very, very powerful card. Especially if you had more than one of these, you could get essentially 1 or 2 of these Primordial Suns in the same turn. Magical Explosion. Activate only when you have no cards in your hand. Inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each spell in your graveyard. If you are on a really spell heavy deck and you had 3 of these in there, you could send loads and loads of spells to the graveyard, activate 3 of these in one go, and potentially, if you've got a really heavy deck, annihilate your opponent's life points, especially if you've done quite a lot of damage as well. So having this limited to one prevents essentially Shrekking your opponent without having to battle much. So yeah, it's reasonable card to be limited. Ring of Destruction. So in case you don't know what it does, during your opponent's turn, target one face-up monster your opponent controls whose attack is less than or equal to their life points. Destroy the monster if you do take damage equal to its original attack, and then inflict the damage you took equal to your opponent. So the reason that this is limited, of course, you could have 3 really powerful monsters on the field with your life points boosted up, or essentially your opponent's lower. Sacrifice all 3 cards using 3 of these and wipe them out in one turn. Hence why this is limited to 1, so you can only do it once. Skill Drain. Activate by paying 1000 life points. The effects of all face-up monsters on the field are negated while those monsters are face-up on the field. Effects are negated, as I said. But effects can still be activated. So the reason this is limited to 1, essentially, is in some decks stops your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Essentially. So if you had more than 1 of these, you could essentially permanently lock them out. Solemn Warning. This one is pretty obvious and most people know what this one does. When a monster would be summoned or a spell or trap card or monster effect activated and includes an effect that special summons a monster, pay 2000 life points, negate the summon or activation if you destroy that card. Says it right there. Negates your opponent from doing anything for a pretty small price of only 2000 life points. So if you had 3 of these, you could stop your opponent from Yu-Gi-Oh!ing. Soul Drain. Activate by paying 1000 life points. Monsters that are banished, as well as monsters in the graveyard, cannot activate their effects. So this card, in my personal opinion, isn't worthy of being limited to 1. I mean, it's not that great of a card in my personal opinion. Maybe in some decks which I don't know about, but and protecting your opponents from using stuff in the graveyard can be really damaging against certain types of decks. But I say it is a very small amount of decks in my personal opinion. So again, reasonable to be limited. Torrential Tribute, this one is really obvious. When a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. If your opponent's got a amazing field and you've got nothing, summon something while this is set and annihilate everything on the field, giving you the upper hand again. And if you have more than one of these, you could keep doing it and really give yourself the upper hand. You do sort of anyway, even with one, but say deserves to be limited. Vanity's Emptiness. Neither player can special summon monsters. If a card is sent from the deck or field to the graveyard, destroy this card. So again, really does deserve to be limited to one in certain decks. Not being able to special summon monsters is devastating. So having more than one of these played against you would essentially again make it so you can't do Yu-Gi-Oh! And finally for this episode, Wall of Revealing Light. When you activate this card, pay any multiple of 1,000 life points. None of your opponent's monsters with attack equal or to or less than this can attack. Really powerful against decks which essentially have got maybe low attack monsters or can't destroy traps or spells very easily, which isn't many decks to be honest nowadays. But it can be a really nasty card, especially if you've got a card which can boost your life points back up. You continue to use this over and over again, and essentially it's like a permanent source of Revealing Light. That's why it's called Wall of Revealing Light. So that is it for this little series that I have done called Why These Cards Are Limited. But probably will do one on why these cards are semi-limited, and then do like an opinion on what cards which I think personally should be either limited or banned in the next ban list. But for now, thank you for watching this series. If you enjoyed, don't forget to punch the like button, leave a comment down below, of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You may follow me on my Twitter, link down below as always. Last thing to say, thank you so much for watching. I've been Dark Killer X. I shall see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Video.